It has been a little bit since we've done a little news like this, so let's get right into it and let's talk about the last theme from Justice Hunters. So let's get into it with the brand new K9 archetype. First off, we have K9 number 17 Izuna. She is a Earth Warrior effect, level 5, 2100 attack and 1600 defense, and you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without attributing. During the main phase, if your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normaled or special summoned, you can send one K9 card from your deck to the graveyard, except K9 number 17 Izuna. She's a really great starter and honestly a really powerful card because it allows you to get a free special summon if your opponent activates a hand trap or something in the graveyard to counteract what you want to do. Realistically, this is a very powerful card in the right deck, especially with anything that revolves around rank 5s. Next up on the block, we have the next level 5 monster being K9 number 66A, Yokuru. It is a Dark Aqua effect monster, level 5, with 2000 attack and 1900 defense, and you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hands, you can normal summon this card without tributing. You could reveal this card and one other level 5 monster in your hand, special summon both, but they cannot be used as material for Exceed Summon of a light monster. And during your main phase, you can add one non-Aqua K9 monster from your deck to your hand, so you're adding all the others for the whole archetype. And honestly, another great card, and being able to summon it and another from the hand is really strong, even though you're going to be going into number 17, the Ripper, most of the time after using that effect. So after that, we have the other number 66, B Lantern. It is a Dark Pyro effect, searchable with Dark Element, with 2000 attack, 1900 defense, level 5. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Has the same effect for the first one, like the last two, and if this card is in your hand, you can target one non-Pyro level 5 K9 monster in your graveyard, special summon it and this card, but they cannot be used as a material for the Exceed Summon of a light monster. And during your main phase, you can add one K9 spell trap card from your deck to your hand as an ignition effect. Really good because you can use it whenever you want during your turn, and then you could just do your plays afterwards. So honestly, another very strong card for the deck, and so far this theme's looking very good. And finally, let's get into the last main deck name, and this is going to be an interesting one in my opinion, being K9 number Null Lupus. It is an Earth Beast Warrior effect, level 5, 2300 attack and 200 defense, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, if your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. During your opponent's turn, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves Exceed Summon using this card you control, and an Exceed monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. A really good way to Exceed Summon on your opponent's turn, along with being able to quick effect summon it during either turn, is very powerful, and making it summon it from hand or graveyard is extremely good. This is definitely going to be one of your key components to interrupt your opponent on their turn with some of your specific cards. Next up on the block, let's get into the extra deck with their Exceed monsters. We have a K9 number 17 Ripper. It is a Wind Beast Warrior Exceed effect monster, rank 5, 2300 attack and 1800 defense, 2 level 5 monsters, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can detach one material from this card, add one K9 card from your deck to your hand, then if your opponent activated a monster effect this turn, you could set one K9 quick play spell from your deck or graveyard. And when your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, quick effect, you could detach one material from this card and negate that effect. Realistically, this is a very good boss monster for the deck, and it's really giving me Exorcister vibes because dealing with the graveyard, being able to just stop stuff from the graveyard, or if they use something in the graveyard, you could just use your effect. So realistically, I just see a lot of comparisons here, but being one rank higher. So after that, let's get into Lupus's upgrade, being K9 Null Hound. It is a Light Beast Warrior Exceed effect, rank 5, 2500, 2500. 2 level 5 monsters, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects the turn it is special summoned. Each time your opponent activates a monster effect, this card gains 500 attack when that effect resolves, And once per turn during the standby phase, you can detach one material from this card, then target one card on the field, banish it. So we have kind of like an SP Little Knight effect going on here, banishing stuff from the field, along with an attack gain over time, something like how you have your continuous effects going on like the Masquerade the Blazing Dragon, or even Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. So realistically, over time, this is just going to get bigger and bigger until they could just swing into you with a big powerhouse of a card. After that, let's get into their big Exceed monster being K9 EX Werewolf. It is a light beast warrior Exceed effect, rank 9 with 3300 attack and 2500 defense. Takes 2 level 9 monsters, and you can only use a second effect of this card's name once per turn. While this card has material, it can attack up to a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then activate this effect based on whose turn it is. Your turn, banish one card your opponent controls, and or one card in their graveyard, or look at your opponent's hand during your opponent's turn, and banish one card from it face up until the end phase. So kind of like a Deep Sea Minstrel type effect, where you get free knowledge, plucking out a card out of your opponent's hand, or you could just banish a card from your opponent's graveyard or on their field. So it's the best of both worlds. This is a very extremely strong extra deck monster, but it's probably going to be a one-of, so we'll have to see on what happens with that later on. So far this deck has been really interesting, but let's get into the spells and trap cards. We have K9 LC Liberation. It is a quick play spell, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Target one K9 Exceed monster or one rank 5 monster you control. Special summon one K9 Exceed monster with a different name from your extra deck by using that monster you control as a material. This is treated as an Exceed summon, transfer its materials to the summoned monster, and at the end of the battle phase, if your K9 monster battled this turn, you could set this card from your graveyard. So recursion and being able just to go into Hound, then go up into your rank 9 on your turn is really strong, or you can just go from your big rank 9 down to your rank 5 super easily, or you could turn anything into your rank 9 if it's a rank 5. So I see a lot of bonuses with this, and I cannot wait to see what the other spell does. So let's get into the next spell card, being K9 X-Force Liberation. It is a quick play spell, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, target one K9 Exceed monster you control. Special summon one K9 Exceed monster with a different name from your extra deck by using that monster you control as a material. This is treated as an Exceed summon. Transfer its materials to the summoned monster. Then you can destroy one card your opponent controls. And at the end of the battle phase, if your K9 monster battled this turn, set this card from the graveyard. Or you can set this card from the graveyard. So it's like the last spell card, Liberation, but with Forced Liberation, it just makes it where only your K9 stuff can be targeted, but it can help go into something like your Werewolf. But honestly, this is another way to just to get to what you need to, and I really do like that. And for the final card for now, we have K9 EW Experimental Liberation. It is a normal trap card, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Special summon one K9 monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can special summon one K9 Exceed monster from your extra deck by using the first monster as material. The second special summon is treated as an Exceed summon, but destroy the second monster during the end phase of the next turn. During the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one K9 quick play spell in your graveyard. Set it. So it just gets to reset your K9 liberations for free, but also allows you to quick Exceed summon into another Exceed monster that you can go up into using a liberation from your hand. So you could just attack, liberation, X, and then attack again. So I can definitely see the OTK aspect about this deck. But overall, what do I think about K9 as a whole so far? Even though we're missing one card, I definitely think that this is going to be a contender in the meta for a rogue status deck, just like how Exorcister is, because it just depends on what type of decks are in the format. But overall, it's a really solid deck, and I cannot wait to see what the last card will hold in the next couple weeks. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you did enjoy this video, but before I go, I do want to talk about one thing. This deck can run something like 7th Ascension and 7th Tachyon, and your targets that you do want to have are number C101, number C104, or number C106, because It is Aqua, Dark, Earth, and they're all rank 5s, so it works well with this deck being able to search out key pieces that you need. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video, and goodbye.